Welcome to another episode of Citizen Senior. My name is Steve Louie.
Hello, my name is Margaret Louie.
We're using the term emotional hijacking instead of what a neuroscientist or a neurologist would use. They would refer to it as amygdala hijacking. At the bottom of the screen, you're also going to see a dynamic link to a YouTube video where Daniel Goleman, one of the originators of this term, emotional hijacking or amygdala hijacking, gives his explanation of the term. The point we're trying to make here is that Margie was at first incompletely diagnosed with anxiety and depression, which of course was a problem. And it occurred simultaneously, and maybe because of the fact that she has ADHD. So in the cases of people who are untreated, such as Margaret, just imagine a lifelong frustrating course of activity where you're searching for an answer to other symptoms that are occurring besides anxiety and depression that are not being fully treated. So, do you feel emotionally hijacked? Are you feeling like you're underwater with your emotions? Do you know someone who feels that way, or you suspect that they do? Then this podcast is for you.
We thought at the beginning that the depression and anxiety were your only symptoms. How is it that we came to find that you had ADHD?
I turned 70 and I hooked up with a psychologist and I had a test. You and I, Steve, discussed it sounds like you could have this problem. Why don't we see somebody? So I went to see somebody and I told him, I think I have your ADHD. And she said, well, let's get you tested. And they found that I have ADHD.
By clicking like below, you help us build our podcast. Thanks.
Dreams and nightmares and activity at night. Can you describe what happens there?
Yeah, I also have a bit of a sleep disorder that we've been able to actually not identify, but come to a treatment plan that works for me. I was having issues with violent sleep, nightmares where I'm actually moving and getting out of bed. I've fallen several times out of bed and in other places in our home. When I wasn't asleep and I fell, it was because of my carelessness.
Do you think that other members of your family also have ADHD?
Well, I'm sure, yes. My mother had ADHD, though we did not know it even before she passed. We came to recognize it after she left us. My brother, his 3 girls, had a form as well, because it's very personal and it's different for everybody. Yes, a mother, bless her heart, she couldn't make a decision to save her life, and nothing ever satisfied her. Daddy could never please her, and it was a problem for both of them.
I must admit that at the beginning when we were going through this, I was feeling quite frustrated because I felt like we should be making more progress with the depression and anxiety, and it seemed to me that we were hitting a brick wall when it came to forgetting things, car keys, etc. when you went to work, and keeping track of lists, for example. Shopping was always a problem. Now, you were fairly convinced that you could remember everything that you needed to get while shopping, but could you?
Well, no, who can? I mean, if you have a list of 40 items, you've got to write them down. Lists are very important, I found, along with planning and making plans and keeping plans. Now, I still have a problem with keeping the plans I make, but I'm feeling that I'm getting a little bit better in that regard. But when it comes to shopping, I need to have a list, unless I'm just running down to pick up a gallon of milk. Something simple like that doesn't need a list. But there have been many times when I've had to go back and forth to the store.
And how did it make you feel when, before you had started using the lists, how did it make you feel when you forgot to get things and you, for example, left your car keys at the house or something like that? How did that make you feel?
Ever like to call myself, or I am forgetful. That is true. Inconvenience is a great part of this process. When I get to the store, if I forgot my list, which I have done, I get to the store, I forgot my money, my wallet, which I have done. It's just inconvenient and it's frustrating. So yeah, there have been some issues with that in the past, yes. I can be focused on something that I'm working on. I do have projects, and one of the things that I am doing is meditation. It's called mindful meditation, and it really helps. You just have to trust the process, and it's taken some time, but I'm working on it.
We're going to be talking about that further in depth, and because of my experience in healthcare, I want to bring some of the scientific evidence about meditation to our listening audience. In order to benefit from meditation, you have to become aware of your own thoughts, and you have to realize that you may not be in control of your mind, that everybody's mind tends to wander. But in the case of ADHD and in the case of Margaret, it can lead to just dropping things. Usually, for many people, you can focus on something and say, okay, I got to get back to paying attention to this, especially when it comes to work. Now, one of the other phenomena of ADHD is a thing called hyperfocus. Do you think you experience hyperfocus, Margaret?
When I was working, yes. Now that I'm not working, no.
Okay, but when you were taking phone calls, so one of the jobs that you had was taking phones at a call center, phone calls.
Right.
Okay, now you were able to focus on that pretty well, weren't you?
Absolutely.
Okay, why do you think that was?
Because that's the reason I worked there. That was the reason I wanted that job, so I could help people. Helping people is one of the things that gives me the greatest, I don't want to use the word pleasure because that's sometimes not accurate, but it's fulfilling. There you go. It's fulfilling for me.
Fulfilling because you have a purpose of helping other people.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels good to help people.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
No, it was considering where they were coming from, their particular issues, what they've been through, whatever it might be. I just did my best to help them in any way I could.
Well, join us in the future. We're going to have some more structured interviews, but that gives you a little feel of where we're coming from. But again, if you're a junior, this could be your future too. And even if you think that you're beyond help or you don't need help, the reality may be that you do. Mindfulness-based stress reduction is real, and there's a lot of proof of that, and we're going to talk about the scientific basis of that in future episodes. So thanks for listening. Bye-bye.